Stop what you're doing and listen.
What's up, everybody? It's Ben here again for another episode, another vlog. So maybe we can check some things off this list here. Nope, we can't check anything off this list. We're gonna work a little more on the handbrake. We're gonna do a little leftover fixing on the angle kit, rolling the fenders. You guys were asking me actually if I was planning on selling my seats out of the car, and the answer to that is yes. All the factory parts that I take off my car, because in most cases they're not handy as spares. All right, let's get to rolling fenders, I think. Here's a quick tip. Don't put anti-seize on your lug nuts, guys. What happens when you put anti-seize on your lug nuts is that it changes your torque value. So you need to know what the anti-seize torque value is going to be much lower than the regular torque value, because adding anti-seize causes there to be less friction, which causes the torque value, the amount of pulling force you're putting on those studs, to increase if you torque them to the same as you would without anti-seize. So your manufacturer's torque specs are all based on a dry torque. Step one is going to be to remove the inner fender liner. Get that out of the way. So now that that's all off, we can work on rolling the fenders. Step one is going to be to clean any debris that we find behind the factory lip. Any rocks or junk like that. If you roll the fender and there's a rock or something in there, you're going to end up with a dimple on the outer end. So you just want to use a little wire brush and just make sure that you've got no debris, rocks, or any junk up top. So that's that, super easy. Now step number two is a little bit of heat to warm up the paint so that you don't cause any cracking. So we've got the fender warm to the touch, pretty darn warm to the touch, but you don't want it so hot you can't touch it. And now we're just gonna slowly, and you may, depending on the arch, you may need to just roll a little bit at a time. For me, it's working pretty well all the way around. And you're just gonna slowly apply pressure and you'll work your way through. And I've got a pretty smooth roll now, so I'm going to take the pressure back off. So I'm starting to push more out on the bottom than the actual edge of the lip. So I'm going to readjust my head, lengthen it out. And the key is going to be to just get right up. Right here my edge is nice and tight. Back here it's a bit looser, but we need to add some heat. Got it pretty much pinched flat all along this edge, and then just right here is where it needs some more work. Now we can tighten this up and start working on the actual pulling out of the fender. And I'm not trying to do it extreme, just enough to kind of keep the stock look of the body. I do like this flattened section. It matches the back. I don't intend to flare the back because I have plenty of room back there right now. But I do want to add, you know, whatever room I can for a wider SLR angle, and the more, you know, that I pull this out, the more that I can the more that I pull this out, the more I can decrease the camber up front. And this is about the most you can get out of a fender roller. You can't, and you can already see how much it's bending and flexing. I mean, my whole fender is yeah. So that's about the max you can get out of it. Let me get you guys right down the side so you can kind of see. You can see that this edge now does curve out kind of all along here. Mostly, a lot of this ugly part, right, is what I call the ugly part, is from that tire hitting it really rough. But yeah. So I just set it so that this crease right here is, so the wheel is right behind that. And then as I roll it, it should kind of help to just make that flat, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a curve out at the bottom. I just want to work above it a little bit. You can see how when the wheel rolls past right here, that concave curve starts to become a convex curve. And that, my friends, is just about all you can get out of a fender roller. You don't want to try to go for some crazy pull. Really, they're designed just to roll in this inner lip, but I mean, you can do a little more. But if you go too much, you really start to have problems. It's not really the tool for doing crazy stuff. But we've managed to pull it out just a little. All dunsies. Compared to where the factory bumper ends, you can see that it is quite a bit wider now than it was. Same thing compared to where the fender liner in there ends and the fender begins. So, yes. I am super stoked. All I need to do now is finish up the handbrake, and this thing is ready to drift. And there's an event in Vegas coming up, and there's also an event in Tucson at the Musselman Honda track. So I'm not really sure which one I'm going to choose to go to. All depends on funds, but we are definitely going to be drifting soon. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you very much for supporting my channel. Thank you very much for watching these videos. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Smash it maybe. Subscribe if you want. And we'll see you next time. Peace.